Hi there. In this video, you're going to be doing a full retouching tutorial, and I'll be taking you from the raw processing of the raw image to retouching in Photoshop and also color grading. So let's jump straight into the video so I can show you. For this video, I'm going to be using the Capture One software to process the raw file. So this image was taken by Ncourage photography. First, I'm going to do for this image, once I bring it to Capture One, I'm just going to crop my image. And to crop my image, I'm going to crop my image 4:5. And the reason why I like cropping my image 4:5 is because it's perfect for Instagram. So I just come to my crop tool up here, click on crop, and click on this direction tool right here. So once I click on it, it's going to show me the radius which I want. So I'm going to click on 4:5. So once I select 4:5, I'm just going to come to this edge and just drag it to this side and just crop this image the best way I want. So I think it's okay like this. I really like the way I crop this image like this. After cropping my image, I'm just going to make some basic adjustment for this image right here. So I'll come to my adjustment tab right here. But the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to come to my high dynamic range, which is this place right here. And I'll turn on my exposure warning. This exposure warning in Capture One enables me to see if the highlights are picking. So once I turn it on, I'll just bring my highlights all the way down like this. And it doesn't matter if the highlights are on this foil paper like this, because as long as the highlights is not picking in the skin or in the subject, it doesn't really matter if the highlight is picking on the clothes or, for example, this foil paper right here. So I like it like this. So my highlight is on -60, and I've just opened up my shadows because I feel the shadows area are looking a little bit dark. So I'll just move my shadows up like this. Let's say to 15 or 13. Let's leave it in 13. So you can see the before and the after of what we just did. Now next I'm going to do, since I brought down my highlight, I'm just going to compensate with that by bringing up my white up. So I'll bring up my white a little bit like this to +7, and my blacks, I'll take it all the way down to -4 like this. I think I like the exposure of this image like this. It's looking better than before. So let's see the before and after. This is the before and this is the after. And another thing I can do, I'll just come to my levels and see if I can move my highlight inside like this to see what's going to happen. If I move my highlight slider inside, you can see it starts to peak on the lips. I'm just going to take it back a little bit like this and leave it like this. And for my shadows, let's see if I put my shadows inside and what's going to happen. Okay, I think I'm just going to leave my shadows on 0. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this image to Photoshop so that we can start doing the skin retouching in Photoshop. So let's go into Photoshop right now. Now that we have our image open in Photoshop, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate my layer by pressing on Ctrl J or Command J if you're using a Mac. After I duplicate my layer, I'm just going to fix this part right here that has no foil paper. So I'm just going to add foil paper to those parts. And to do that, I'm going to use my content aware fill, and this is how it works. First of all, I'll make a rough selection of the place which I want to fill. So I'll pick my lasso tool. I'm just going to make a rough selection of the place which I want to fill with content aware, like that. So after making a rough selection, what I'm going to do, I'll come to my edit, I'll come to my content aware fill. So I'll click on content aware fill. So as I click on content aware fill, Photoshop is automatically going to fill those parts for me. And I think Photoshop did an amazing job. So I'm going to click on apply and click on OK. So after that, I'm going to deselect by clicking on Ctrl D to deselect. So after applying my content aware, if I zoom in, you can see the edges are not looking good. So I'm going to fix that right now. And to fix that, I'm going to create a stamp visible layer by clicking on Ctrl Shift Alternate E or Command Shift Alternate E if you're using the Mac. So after creating a stamp visible layer, I'm just going to fix those right now. So I'm going to zoom in, pick my patch tool. I'm just going to draw, select the edges and just fill them like that. So I'll select this edge like this and just fill it like that. Select and fill. I think it's looking perfect like this. So let's see the before and after. I'm just going to merge everything I did in a new layer. And to do that, once this first layer is selected, hold Shift and click on this layer above the background layer and just right click and click on merge layers, and it's going to merge layers. So let's see the before and after. This is where we started from, this is where we are right now. This is the before and this is the after. So that's how you can fix that part right there if you have an image like that. Now next I'm going to do, I'm going to make this place look good. So you can see the foil paper on the hair is not looking straight, so I'm just going to straighten it out and make it look even better. So my polygonal lasso tool selected, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit and make a selection like this. I prefer use the pen tool if you know how to use the pen tool. I don't know how to use the pen tool, that's why I'm using this polygonal lasso tool right here. But if you know how to use the pen tool, I'll advise to use the pen tool. So after making the selection, I'm just going to fill it with the content aware. So I'll come to my edit again, click on content aware fill, and remove it from the skin because I don't want it to fill this place with the skin. So I'm just going to remove it from the skin. And to remove, just click on this minus icon, make sure this place is checked, and just remove it from the skin. I don't want it to sample from the skin, so that's why I'm removing it from the skin. I want it to sample only from the foil paper. Okay, now let's see what Photoshop is going to do. And I think the selection is looking good. I'm going to click on OK. I click on Ctrl D to deselect. So let me zoom out so you can see the before and after. This is the before, this is the after, the before and the after. Now after that, next I'm going to do, I'm going to create a stamp visible layer again by clicking on Ctrl Shift Alternate E. And this time I'm going to use my healing brush tool again and just paint on this part right here to make it look even better. This is the before and this is the after, the before and after. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to merge all the layers above the background layer again. So I'll just press Shift, click on this layer tool, and just right click and click on merge layers. So let's see where we started from and where we are right now. So these are before and these are after. These are before and these are after. Now the next I'm going to do, I'm going to take this image to liquify and try to fix it even more. And to do that, I'll click on filter. I'll first of all convert it to smart filter so that I can actually go back and make any adjustment. So I'll click on smart filter. Once I convert it to a smart filter, I'll click on filter again and I'll click on liquify. So once I'm on liquify, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick my warp tool right here. This is my forward warp tool, and reduce the pressure to about 5. So let's use 5, and I'm just going to warp this part inside like this a little bit. We're going to warp this part inside like this, and I'll warp this side inside as well, and I'll warp this place down, and this part right here, I'm just going to warp them down like this just to make it look natural. So this is the part that I just fixed with content aware. I'm just going to warp them to make it look as natural as possible, because the goal is to make your image look as natural as possible, like you didn't do anything, don't leave any trace. So that's how you know your image is good. So I'm just going to warp this part like this. So you don't have to take time to do what I'm doing it, but you just get the idea what I'm trying to do. Okay, I feel it's looking good like this. So let's see the before and after. This is the before and this is the after. It's just a subtle difference. Next I'm going to do, I'm going to click on this face tool right here. Once I click on face tool, I'm going to show the face. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw this forehead up a little bit like this. Okay, I think it's looking good like this, and I'm going to push this part inside like this just to make the face a little bit slimmer, and this jaw part as well, just to make the face look a little bit slimmer. I'm going to bring this part out like this. So let's see the before and the after, the before and the after, and I'm going to click on OK. So let's see our overall before and after. We started from where we are right now. So this is where we started from, and this is where we are right now. This is where we started from, this is where we are right now. So what I just did a little bit of photo correction. I just corrected the image and did a little bit of detailed adjustments to this particular image to make the image look good. It's just a subtle difference. Like I just did a minor changes, but you can see the effect is massive. So this is the before and this is the after. Now the next part of this retouching, I'm going to remove the blemishes using focus separation, and I'm using the Retouching Academy. And if you have any other focus separation action that you use, it's going to work for you. It's the same thing. So just load your focus separation action. For me, I'll come to my Retouching Academy. I'll load my focus separation action. So I'm using focus separation via Gaussian blur. You can use via media blur if you want. It's almost the same thing, but I prefer using via Gaussian blur. So I'll click on focus separation via Gaussian blur. For this Gaussian blur radius, if you want your image to be smooth, like you want your image to be smooth, use a lower blur radius. But if you want to retain more texture on your image, use a higher blur radius. So just play with your blur radius and see which one works for you. For me, for this kind of image, I prefer using a radius of about 18, 20, 22 for this kind of image. But for this particular image, I'm going to use a radius of about 18 to retouch this image right here. So I'll use 18 and I'll click on OK. So once I click on OK, remember I want to remove the blemishes. So I'm just going to come to my high texture copy right here, or my high texture, which consists of the blemishes. Remember, the focus separation, the low focus consists of the colors, while the high focus consists of the textures. Since the high focus consists of the textures, if you want to remove the blemishes are texture, make sure you are working on the high focus layer to remove the blemishes. So once you click on your high focus layer, just pick your close stamp tool. I prefer using my close stamp tool. You can choose any blemishes removal method that works for you, but I prefer using my close stamp tool. So once I click on close stamp tool, I'll make sure I'm using a soft round brush like that. I don't want the edges to be hard, so I'm using a soft round brush. My opacity is set to 100, my flow is set to 100, my smoothing is on 10. So I'm just going to sample from a close by area and just remove the blemishes. So I don't have to zoom all the way in like this to remove blemishes. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit like this and just sample from a close by area. Press alternate on your keyboards to sample and paint over the blemishes. So just remove all the blemishes on your image, and this can take a lot of time depending on the kind of image you are retouching. And this part right here is very important. It's very important. I cannot stress this enough. You just have to settle down and remove the blemishes. That's how you get a smooth image. Mixer brush tool is just to enhance it, but if you can get your blemishes right, your image is going to look good. So what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to remove the blemishes for this image. I'll take my time to remove the blemishes for this image right here. Okay, I finished removing the blemishes for this image. Let's see the before and after. This is the before and this is the after. The before and the after. Now next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work and fix this makeup right here. And to fix that, I'm just going to create a new empty layer. So I'll come to my layer mask right here, create a new empty layer. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pick my lasso tool. And remember, if you know how to use the pen tool, this is where pen tool can really come in handy, because pen tool is going to give you the perfect selection for this kind of situation we have right here. But I'm just going to use the lasso tool. I'm just going to make a selection of this part. Hold on, I'm just going to make a selection of this part right here, and I'm just going to take it inside like this and take it back like this. So after making the selection, I'll pick my normal brush tool. Use my normal brush tool. I'm going to select my normal brush tool, and I'm just going to sample the colors right there and just paint on it like that. Sample the colors and just paint on it like that. Remember, don't paint inside the white. Sample and just paint on it like that. I know it's not looking good right now, but I'm going to make it look good after. So you can see we did not paint on the white because we're going to create a separate adjustment layer for the white right there. So after that, I'm going to invert this selection by clicking on Ctrl+Shift+I and invert the selection and zoom in a little bit and pick my close stamp tool and just sample from a close by area and just paint on the edges like that. Sample and paint, sample and paint, sample and paint on the edges just like that. So after that, I'm just going to click on Ctrl+D and I'll do the same thing for this other side right here. Pick my lasso tool. What I'm going to do next, I'll come to my blend mode and just change it to color. And next I'm going to do, I'll create another empty layer again. This time, pick my normal brush tool. Just sample this white right here. Sample this white right here and just paint on it like this. Sample this white right here and just paint on it like this. Just to make it look good like that. So what I'm going to do right now, we're trying to fix the makeup. So after that, what I'm going to do for this my white, I'm just going to come to my blend mode and just change the blend mode to lighter color like this. So let's see the before and after of this makeup. I'm just going to group them. So this is the before. You can see the makeup is not looking that good, and this is the after. It's looking so much better. The before and the after. Alright, now that I've fixed that, next one we're going to fix, we're going to fix the eye bag. So you can see right here, let me just create a new empty layer. So you can see right here, we have some eye bag, which I really don't like. You can see this eye bag right here. You can see this eye bag right here. I really don't like it, so I'm just going to get rid of it. And the method I'm going to use, I'm going to be using the dodge and burn method to get rid of this eye bag right here. So let's do it right now. So I'm going to delete this empty layer and just create a dodge and burn layer. And I have this Retouching Academy. It's going to create my dodge and burn for me. And if you have any dodge and burn action, it's going to work. So I'm going to click on dodge and burn. And I'm just going to remove this check layer because I really don't need it. So what is inside this dodge and burn is the curves adjustment layer. You can see for the curves, this part I just brought it down, and this part just take it up and just invert your layer mask, and you can get your dodge and burn right here. So what I'm going to be doing, I'm just going to make the dark part a little bit brighter and the bright side a little bit darker. So I'll just pick my normal brush tool, decrease my flow to 2%. So once on my dodge, I'm just going to paint on the dark part. You can see this part right here are dark, so I'm just going to brush on it to make it look brighter. So I'm trying to even out the colors right there, and if I can even out the colors right there, we are going to get rid of the eye bag. And for the bright part, I'm just going to dodge it a little bit to make it match. Just going to dodge it like that. This is the before. You can see the eye bag, and this is the after. You can see we don't have the eye bag anymore. The before and the after. So you can take your time to just make some adjustment to make it look even as possible. So that's the point. The goal is to make the image look as even as possible and to make it look good and as natural as possible. So just take your time to do it, but you get the point. So that's one way you can get rid of eye bag in Photoshop. Now the next I'm going to do for this image, I'm going to do micro dodge and burn. And for my micro dodge and burn, I'm going to try to use it to make the image look as even as possible for this my micro dodge and burn. And to use that, I'll come to my dodge and burn again, click on my dodge and burn curves. And this time I'm going to leave my visual aid on. So once I leave my visual aid on, I'll come to my adjustment, add levels adjustment layer, and just move my midtones towards the highlight side to make it look a little bit darker like this, so that I can see where to dodge and where to burn. And I'll come back to my dodge. I'm just going to zoom in, and I'm just going to dodge the dark part of this image and burn the bright part of this image. So you can see right here they're looking dark. I'm just going to dodge it to make it look bright. And for a dodge and burn, I'm just going to use the soft round brush. So make sure you're using a soft round brush for that. Make sure you're using the soft round brush, is very important, so that you will not have any edges. And you can check your brush settings here if you have any edges. If your brush is not looking like this, make sure you use my settings right here, and you're going to get this really smooth edges like that. It's very important. So I'm going to burn this part just to make it look even, and this part that are looking dark, I'm just going to dodge them. Basically what I'm doing right now, I'm just dodging the bright part and burning the dark part. So that's how you do your micro dodge and burn. Okay, I'm just going to delete my visual aid like this. So let's see our before and after. These are before and these are after. Our before and after. Our before and after. So I feel this place are too dark, so I'll come to my dodge and just dodge this part right here a little bit just to brighten it up. Alright, now next I'm going to do, I'm just going to use my mixer brush to smoothen out the skin, and I'll use my focus separation. I'll come to my Retouching Academy again, click on focus separation via Gaussian blur, and just click on 18 like I said earlier, and click on OK. Right now I'm going to be working on the low frequency, so I'll pick my mixer brush tool, make sure corrective tone is selected, and I'm using a soft round brush. This place right here is checked, so make sure this place right here is checked, and make sure your wet is on 20. For me, my wet is on 20, my load is on 30, my mix is on 10, my flow is on 20, this place is on 0, and this place is on 0 degree. So you can use any mixer brush settings that works for you, but for me these are the settings I'm using and it has been working for me. And lastly, if you're working on an empty layer, make sure sample all layer is checked. It's going to sample all the layer below this low frequency, which consists of the colors and tones. So since we're working on the colors, make sure sample all layer is checked. But if you don't have this corrective tool, you can work directly on your low frequency But since I have this corrective tool, my sample all layer is checked, and I'm just going to zoom in a little bit and hide my high texture layer, and the image is going to look kind of blurry like this. So once I have my blurry image like this, it means all the texture of this image are gone. I'm left with only the colors, and the color is what I'm going to mix with my mixer brush. So I want to mix the colors on this image to make it look even. And to mix your colors, make sure you're mixing the colors on the highlights separately. Make sure you're mixing the colors on the shadows separately. Make sure you're mixing the colors on the midtones separately. So I'm just going to mix the colors right now. So I'll pick my mixer brush tool, and I'm just going to increase my brush size according to the part which I want to mix. So I want to mix the highlights. I'm going to reduce my brush size and just mix the highlights like this. And after mixing the highlights, I'll come to the shadows area. I'll mix the shadows like that. And for the midtones, I'm going to mix the midtones separately as well, like that. And remember to increase and decrease your brush size according to the parts of the image you are mixing. And for the transition, I'm just going to mix the transition like this. So let me quickly show you the before and after of what we just did. So I'll turn on my high frequency layer again. So you can see this is the before, this is the after. The before, the after. And since I use 18 blur radius, you can see I still have textures on the image, and the image is looking good because I use 18 for this particular image. But if I use a lower blur radius, the image is going to look smoother. It will still be good because this image has texture, but it's just going to look more smoother. So let me do that right now. I'm just going to delete this frequency separation, create another one, and use a lower blur radius, like let's use 15, and click on OK. I'm going to turn off my high texture, pick my mixer brush again, and just mix the colors. So the frequency separation blur radius that you use play a major role on the outcome of your image. So like I said earlier, if you want your image to be smoother, use a lower frequency separation blur radius. Or if you want your image to have texture, use a higher frequency separation blur radius. So I'm going to use 15. Okay, so let's see the before and after. This is the before, and this is the after. The before and the after. So I'm just going to be doing this for the whole of the image right now. Remember to paint on the highlight separately and paint on the shadow separately. Alright, so let's see before and after. So these are before and these are after. After using my mixer brush tool, these are before and these are after. And if you feel that any blemishes you want to remove, you can actually remove the blemishes. Like I'm seeing this place right here, I want to remove it. So I'll come to my high texture copy right here, click on my close stamp tool, which is S, and sample from the close by area. I'm going to click on current layer, sample from a close by area, and just paint over that place like that because I want to remove it. I really don't like it. Okay, now let's see before and after. Before and after. Now it's looking good like this. Now the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to whiten the eyes and the teeth. And to do that, I already have action for that. I'm going to come to my action and click on eyes and teeth, and it's going to load for me. I have a video on how you can create eyes and teeth action. I'll be leaving a link to that video in the description below. So I'll click my normal brush tool. I'll just paint on the eyes like this. Make sure my foreground color is set to white, and just paint on the eyes. And do the same thing for these other eyes like this. And do the same thing for the teeth. Let's see. Okay, let's see our before and after. These are before and these are after. You can see how good it's looking right now. So I'm going to group everything I just did right now. Group, Ctrl G to group. So these are before, this is where we started from, this is where we are right now, this is where we started from, this is where we are right now. You can see the amazing progress we've made for this particular image. If this video has been helpful to you so far, make sure to give this video a like so that more people can see this video and learn from this video as well. Thank you. So moving on, the next thing we are going to do, we are going to color grade this image. But before I color grade this image, I'm just going to make the makeup a little bit obvious, or just add a little bit of vibrance to the makeup to make it shiny. So I'll come to my adjustment layer, click on my vibrance right here, and just increase the saturation of the entire image like this. And after that, I'm just going to click on Ctrl-I to invert the layer, pick my normal brush tool, use my normal brush tool, and just use my white brush to paint only on the colors of the makeup, because that's what I'm trying to enhance right now, not the whole image. So I'm going to paint only on the colors of the makeup to make it stand out. And I'll do the same thing for the lips. I'm just going to paint and the lips as well. Okay, now next I'm going to do, I'm just going to come to my layer mask and just feather it and decrease the opacity a little bit to make it look as natural as can be. Alright, now let's see our before and after. These are before and these are after. If you ask me, I'll say the color grading of this image is looking good already. Like, it's perfect. The image straight out of camera, the colors are looking perfect. But I'm just going to do a little bit of adjustments to make it look even more better. So next I'm going to do, I'll come to my adjustment layer, come to my selective color, and you know the skin tool consists of reds and yellows. Since I want to work only on the skin tool, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to move my cyans towards the red side and my magentas towards the green, red side as well, like this. So if I take this side, I'm adding greens to the image, which I don't want. So I'm going to take it towards the red side like this. And if my yellows, I'm going to add yellows to the image a little bit. And I'm just going to remove blacks for this image. I'm going to take the blacks out of the reds like this. And I'll come to my yellows. For my yellows, I'm going to add reds to the yellows, which is cyan side. For the yellows, I'm going to take away yellows from the yellows. I'll move my magentas towards the red side, like this. And I'm going to add blacks to the yellows. So let's see before and after of what we just did. So this is the before and this is the after. I don't know if you can see, but just a subtle difference, and it's making all the magic. So this is the before and this is the after. So you don't have to fix what is not broken, but color grade just depends on the kind of look you're going for. But for me, I think I'm okay with this look I'm getting right now. Now, next I'm going to do for this image, I'm going to use my contour dodge and bond to add little bit of pop to this image to make the image look shiny. So to do that, I'll come to my Retouching Academy again. I'll click on dodge and bond curves, and I'll just delete this visual aid, and I'll come to my dodge. I'll come to my normal brush tool. This is how I do my own dodge, but everybody has the way they do their own. But this is how I do mine. I'm just going to draw some lines like this on the highlights, and do the same thing for the highlights like this. I'll do the same thing for the lips, and for this side I'm just going to do it like this for this side, and do the same thing right here for this side like this, and same thing for here like this. For the shadows, I'll come to the bone, and I'm just going to draw this part like this. I'll do this part like this as well. I'll do this part like this. So after that, I'm going to draw a little bit here like this. And after that, what I'm going to do, I'll come to my layer mask of my dodge. You are going to see properties. If your properties do not open right here, just come to your windows and make sure your properties is turned on. So once your property is turned on, just click on your layer mask for your dodge and just increase the feather like this. I think 24 pixels are okay. Then I'll come to my dot. I'll come to my bone. Just increase the feather of the bone as well, like this. 55 or 53 works for me. So let's see the before and after. This is the before and this is the after. The before and the after. You can see it works for me, but I feel it's too much, so I'm just going to reduce the opacity of the bone a little bit. Okay, I think 60 works for me for this image. The before and the after. It's looking good like this, and I think I like it like this. But for the dodge, I'm just still going to increase the feather of the dodge a little bit. So the before and the after. So I like it like this. Next I'm going to add a finished touch to this image. I'm just going to add a little bit of textures to even out the textures on this image. If I zoom in like this, you can see this place right here, there are no textures. This place right here, there are no much textures. While this place right here has a lot of texture. So I'm going to even out the textures on this image. And to do that, I'll create a new empty layer. Come to my edit, click on fill with 50% gray, and make sure mode is on normal, opacity is 100, and just click on OK. After that, I'll come to my filter, I'll come to my noise, I'll click on add noise, and you can use amount of 11, but I'm not going to use amount of 12. Make sure uniform is checked and not Gaussian. Make sure uniform is checked. Once your uniform is checked, make sure monochrome is checked and click on OK. After that, I'm really going to change the blend modes to soft light. Once I change the blend mode to soft light, I'm going to zoom in, and you can see the effect right here, but it's not looking good like this. I'm going to make it look even more better. So I'll just come to filter again, click on stylize and click on emboss. And once I click on emboss, I'm just going to move this my emboss to where I feel the light is coming from. So the light is coming from this side, I suppose. 140 degree. Let's leave it at 140 degree. Let's see. Okay, the light is coming from 140 degree, and you can choose to increase the height of the noise, or you can choose to increase the amount of the noise. I think this amount works for me for this particular noise, and this height works for me. I'll click on OK. So after I click on OK, you can see the textures are looking kind of even, but we're not going to stop here. I'm just going to blur it out a little bit. So I'll come to my filter, click on blur, click on Gaussian blur. I'm going to blur it with a radius of about 1 and click on OK. Now you can see it's affecting the whole image, but I don't want it to affect the whole image. I want it to affect only the skin. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add a layer mask and invert the layer mask by clicking on Ctrl I to invert. Once I invert it, I'm going to paint on the skin, and I'm not going to paint on the eyes. I'm not going to paint on the lips. I'm just going to paint on the skin because that's where I want it to apply on. I don't want texture to be on the eyes. I just want it to be only on the skin, like that. I'm not painting on the lips as well, and I'm going to paint it right here just to even it out. Okay, so let's see the before and the after. As you can see, it's not looking good. It's still too obvious. I'm just going to feather it a little bit. After I feather it, I'm just going to reduce the opacity a little bit. I think 70 works for me for this image. So you can see how good this image is looking right now. So this is, let me just group everything I just did, so you can see where we started from and where we are right now. So this is the before and this is the after. The before and the after. You can see how good this image is looking right now. And like I said earlier, your focus separation blur radius plays an amazing role if you are retouching your image. So if you want to learn how to get the right focus separation blur radius, make sure to click on this video showing right here. I'll see you guys in my next video. Stay creative.